welcome to Creating the Cool. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about pentatonic scales. Pentatonic scales are the basis for the melodies of most American music. From gospel to jazz, blues, rock and roll, and Motown, pentatonic scales make up a very large part of American music. Since most American music is based on pentatonic scales, this becomes an excellent tool for improvisation. Simple scales don't really sound that great when we play them note after note. But a pentatonic scale feels very natural and very musical. Pentatonic scales typically have 5 notes in them, hence the name pentatonic. And they generally come in 2 basic flavors, major and minor. In most cases, the major and the minor pentatonic scale are the same, it just depends on which note you start on. For a major pentatonic scale, we're going to play the first, second, and third note of a major scale. Then we're going to skip up to the 5th note, play the 6th note, and back to the tonic again. A minor pentatonic scale is built from a natural minor scale, and it begins on the 1st note, skips up to the 3rd note, plays the 4th note, the 5th note, and then the 7th note. The 7th note in a minor pentatonic scale is the flatted 7th compared to a major scale, so it's going to be a whole step away from the tonic again. In major key signatures, there are 2 ways to deal with pentatonic scales, and they're based on the 1 chord and the 5 chord in our key. So in the key of E flat, when we see tonic chords, especially the 1 chord, E flat, we have 2 different scales to choose from. We have the 6th root pentatonic scale and the 3rd root pentatonic scale. So the 6th root pentatonic scale is a minor pentatonic scale built on the 6th note of an E flat major scale. So that C minor pentatonic scale would be C, E flat, F, G, and B flat. These pitches represent the most common and most melodically sound pitches over an E flat chord, and will generally give any melody or solo you play a very traditional swing feel. The other scale we can play is based on the 3rd note of an E flat major scale. So that would give us a G minor pentatonic scale, which would be G, B flat, C, D, and F. This scale is going to give your melody or solo a more modern feel, since it doesn't include the root E flat anywhere in the scale. These 2 scales can be played over any of the tonic chords discussed in the last episode. So that would be the 1 chord, the 3 chord, the 6 chord, and the 4 chord. The other scales we're going to be talking about today are the ones associated with the dominant chords, aka B flat. So in the key of E flat, B flat is the dominant, or the 5th note of that key. Over a B flat 7 chord, again, we have 2 choices. We can play the 6th root pentatonic, or again, a 3rd root pentatonic. The 6th root pentatonic, which in this case would start on G, would be G, B flat, C, D, and F, which happens to be the same scale as the 3rd root of the E flat. This scale does not include the dominant 7th of the B flat chord, which is A flat, but you'll find it makes for a very powerful melodic statement and really sounds like it belongs. The other nice thing is you'll notice that it's the same scale as the pentatonic scale built on the 3rd scale degree of our E flat major, which means we could play the same scale over both the tonic and the dominant chords. The D pentatonic scale is not technically a minor pentatonic because it actually includes a flatted 5th. So it'll be D, F, G, A flat, and C. This pentatonic scale will make any melody or solo sound much more modern because it accentuates the extensions of the dominant chord and includes that tritone interval between the D and the A flat, which generally most modern jazz players prefer. So when we approach a chord progression, we can boil down the progression into tonic chords and dominant chords again, and we can just look and see if we're playing on a 1, a 3, or a 6 chord. We can play either the 6th root or the 3rd root pentatonic scale, And then when we come to the dominant chords, 2 chords, 5 chords, 7 chords, and even some 4 chords, again, we can play either the 6th root of the dominant or the 3rd root of the dominant. This is a little different than the tonic dominant I discussed in the last episode, because you are going to have to change scales a little bit and keep track of which chord is the dominant as the key changes, because the dominant pentatonic scales are based on the dominant chord. In any of these pentatonic scales, we can also add in the blues notes, aka thinking of them like blues scales, which would have a flatted 5th and a regular 5th in them. This works great if you want to imply a small amount of blues in the sound of your major progression. We can do this same technique over the 2 pentatonic scales associated with the dominant chords as well. When we play the 6th root pentatonic scale of the dominant, that way we get the flatted 3rd of the dominant chord, which again gives it kind of a blues flavor. Thanks for watching, and I hope you'll click and subscribe to see more content as it comes out. If you enjoy this, please check out some of my music on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, Bandcamp, or anywhere you like to get your music. Again, it's Larsen Jazz on social media, and my name is David Larsen. Thanks again for watching.